communist, Lenin used to come here very often. It was his favorite place, and he had a house here. And he would go on the hikes into the Tatra mountains. So throughout the communist times, there was the museum of Lenin here in this little town. So when you heard the name Poronin, you know. Her name is Belka. Area was like the symbol, the synonym of poverty. And a lot of these people, same day in Chicago and in Zakopane.
That's a Hungarian dog.
I had 3 of them. Oh, look at them. I don't know here. Oh, yeah. Then I...
Capital of Poland. That's what many people in Poland say. Well, about today's weather, what the statistics say here in Zakopane during the year, we have at least 260 days of rainfall or snowfall. Today is one of these lucky days, but I think weather's gonna change a little bit. It's a bit more cloudy, but still we have a chance in the center of town. And there was also a Lenin monument. Of course, today both the museum and the monument don't exist anymore. We can say that communists are a little bit less popular in Poland now. Anyway, and in a few seconds on your left hand side, behind the fire station, that's this red roof building. Behind the fire station there is a short ski lift for beginners. There's no more snow there. And there is also a tiny ski jump for beginners. For those jumpers finishing in the middle of the road. By the way, looking at the size of the cemetery, we can tell how popular ski jumping in Poland is. Log cabin covered with wooden shingles. Designed according to the Zakopane style in architecture. The second difference about architecture is that most buildings have steep roofs, which becomes, for the locals, well, what the Highlanders say about the climate of Zakopane, we have only 2 seasons here, winter and July, which is almost true. Well, others say that we have winter season and construct here in this mountain area was only barley and oats, much later also potatoes. And the second group of settlers came here probably in the 15th century. They came here, these settlers came here over the mountains along the Carpathian range from the south. Well, and we can say that everybody in Poland knows that name. So the best, for sure, the best of the Tatras and Tatra mountains are the highest part of the whole Carpathian range. So talking about
Tatra Mountains, bordering between Poland and Czech Republic. So beautiful. Breathtakingly beautiful.
About a mile from here on the left. So it's about 15 minutes walking down the slope or 5 minutes. Town, Zakopane. Zakopane, the Zakopane that is on our right hand side. Zakopane is not a very big town. In spite of that, the population of Zakopane is under the influence of the Swiss architecture. Also this one on the left. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the inside.
Oh, yes.
construction. Actually, until last year, they were still not sure about how old the church was. There were two options actually. One group said it was built in 1906, another group said no, 1908. But last year they came to the conclusion that the real age of the church starts with the first service here. 1907 it happened, so 103 years old. That's the age of this church. It was designed by Stanisław Witkiewicz, who is considered to be the creator of so-called Zakopane style in architecture. Stanisław Witkiewicz was actually not a Highlander. He was not from here, but he reached for the influences of the local Highlanders architecture and started building much bigger constructions and also sacral buildings. This is the best example of that. The carcass construction, I mean the way they connect beams, is the same all over the world. US, Canada, the Alps also. So the main construction is built without using any nails. That's the way they connect these beams. What makes these constructions here different is the insulation. Between the beams you can see something looking like a rope. It's actually not a rope. These are wood shavings. So they twist it, bend and push inside, making it tighter with some iron tool. This insulation really works fine, and you cannot find it, for example, in the Alps, only here. For the main construction of the building, they didn't use nails because they were, well, pretty expensive. Sometimes they had to use wood packs. So we have a different name, we have a different profession for these people doing this insulation between the beams. In Polish, in Highlanders dialect, actually, it's called them sots. And for example, it takes a long time to insulate such a building by a group of 4 people. It would take at least a month. That's why there is a separate profession of these people. Someone told me that there is also a separate profession of people inserting these wood packs. They are woodpeckers. Well, the most traditional roof is covered with wooden shingles. You have a very good example here. What is typical for these Zakopane style buildings is that except the main roof, there are also many side roofs attached to the building. Under one of them, above the entrance, there is a pretty unusual figure of Jesus. Well, nobody knows, especially from abroad, nobody would think that it's Jesus. Sitting in this position and worrying about the future of the world. That's how the artist explained that. Anyway, most hikers say that he's worried about today's weather in Zakopane. Complain at all. And this figure of and the Polish signs and the Lithuanian signs on the other side, and Our Lady of Ostrava in Lithuania. All the carvings inside were done by local artists, especially the figures of saints and the figure of Jesus. Many times beginners try their luck while skiing down the steep one. Many of them break legs, break arms, and get other injuries. On the other hand, if you look to your right hand side, the next will be a very, very short ski lift for beginners, for alpine skiers. You can see some skiers practicing here on this one. Also good to know that all of them are covered with the green surface, which is Everslide, which makes it possible to practice and to compete also in summer. And the Summer World Cup is also organized here in Zakopane. The main ski jump is coming. And this winter we got a new record of this ski jump, 141.5 meter, which is over 460 feet.